snowing. What's up, YouTube family, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be an informational video, and I thought it would be time to readdress something that I've been seeing popping up a lot. We're going to be discussing cardio today. I made a post on Instagram that I said I'm not doing any cardio, and a lot of you were like, what? Why no cardio? How is that possible? And I'm showing you that it is possible to not do cardio. I actually haven't done cardio for probably 7 months. Yep. As soon as I moved, I just stopped doing the cardio and started changing up my routine. Why does cardio get such a bad rap? What is wrong with cardio? There are a lot of people who love cardio and a lot of people who hate cardio and are saying, don't do cardio, stay away from cardio. First thing first, we need to ask yourself, what is your goal with cardio? A lot of people think you have to do cardio for weight loss. This really started, and I know this was from my own self, back about 5-6 years ago. I never really did a lot of cardio until I competed. So before I got some education, gained some experience, and gained some knowledge, I was just the same, just like anybody else. I was either doing just cardio only. I wasn't in the weight room at all. This was back when I was like 16, 17, 18. I didn't really do cardio, like really do cardio, until I competed, which was about 6 years ago. And I had a coach who put cardio in my plan, and I was doing about, oh my gosh, like an hour and a half cardio a day on top of my weight training, which was about an hour, 6 days a week, and I had 1 day rest day. Not having the knowledge I do now, at that time, I trusted my coach. So I went into that with the impression that, okay, this is what you need to do to lose weight. You need to do all this cardio to lose fat. Just like so many of you, you're trusting what you're being told, and then you incorporate in your routine. And if you do see results, that's all you know. That's all you know how to achieve those results. Really, this whole cardio thing to lose weight started with bikini competitions. Now, bodybuilding and the bikini, the fitness, have been around a long time. So there's always been different ways of achieving fat loss, and it's changed over the years. Some of them, new coaches, new methods have come in, have changed things up, and have modified things. It's evolved over the years. When I got into competing at that time, it was kind of like a boom of the bikini competition. I think everybody I knew was doing it, and it just got so popular and just blew up. Everyone did it at least once, if not continued with it, and then it kind of fizzed down, it kind of died down. At this time, that was when Instagram really blew up as well. So they kind of progressed together. So a lot of you who were just joining Instagram and joining and seeing all these different people with these chiseled, lean physiques, and especially a lot of women that just looked freaking amazing, you're like, I want that. So you start really investigating and researching what these people are doing, because they're sharing their journey, they're sharing their story. But as I've stated so many times, we only show so much on social media unless you're actually doing documentaries and YouTube videos of your journey and everything you're doing, and you're actually sharing those details. You're only getting a little bit of it. Most of you who are just, not competing, looking at these Instagram accounts, looking at these bodies, and wanting to achieve that same thing. So you're taking piece by piece from all these different Instagram posts and being like, okay, well, this is what they're eating, and they're doing all this cardio. I know a lot of people at the time were sharing cardio after cardio after cardio session to achieve their lean. So right there is programmed in your head, cardio. I got to do cardio to achieve this lean physique, to drop body fat, to lose weight. In reality, you don't think about a lot of these people, these competitors, it's temporary what they're doing. They're competing for either 6, 12 weeks, they do shows back to back. It's structured plan, and it's specific to that. And then you go into a lot of these people who do go into off season. A lot of those people did not share what they were doing in off season or even post about it. So you did not see that side of their fitness journey. You only saw the cardio, the competitions, the lean physiques, the diets. That's all you saw all the time. That's what was floating around all the time. So we just got literally trained to see and to think that this was the only way to achieve weight loss. I was one of those people. I was just like you. I had a coach who I trusted that I was put on this plan. I was on a restricted diet and lots of cardio for too long. And when I decided that competing wasn't for me, that I didn't want to do this anymore, my coach at the time did not know how to put me into off season. All that coach knew was competition diets, competition cardio, competition training. I went through the yo-yo dieting. I experienced weight gain. I also struggled with body image at the time because I was very, very lean.
Next door, he called me complaining. He told me I was in a piece that summer.
Yeah. And
She
then
did not see, and Gussie would kept going.
I was in a meeting down in Sac and I got the call and she told me, she's like, I didn't yell and blah blah.
Of course I got weight loss. I ended up losing fat and I lost muscle. I couldn't handle the stress that I was putting my body through just to achieve this certain look. I'm like, this is not a way to live. I can't live this way. I can't do this. I'm not happy. I mean, there's days I was crying all the time when I was training. I'm like, why would I want to put myself through that? During that time, I wasn't eating fruit. I wasn't eating, the only carbs I could have was oatmeal and rice. The only proteins I had was tilapia. Yep, I was one of those. I was in that category. And fat was peanut butter. That was it. And it was like 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. Oh, and then my vegetables was broccoli and asparagus. I think that was it. Maybe I got some spinach sometimes. I was not eating salt either. You weren't allowed to have salt or sugar. That is not a sustainable lifestyle. That is not sustainable. So this was actually what everybody saw online all the time in all their feeds, in their Instagram posts. So you thought you had to eat fish and asparagus. And so when I decided this is not for me and I stopped, I just started eating normal again, eating fruits, eating different vegetables, eating different carbs, and eating more. I stopped doing cardio because I'm like, screw cardio. I almost swore. But with the lack of knowledge, I didn't realize what it would do to my body. When I stopped all this, with the lack of knowledge that I had, the naive, what happened? My body, I got edema really bad. So if a lot of you guys don't know what edema is, it's fluid buildup that between the layers and the tissue of your muscles and underneath your skin. Just having the sodium that is naturally found in foods, that extra sodium, my body, it just went from the waist down. I looked like I was waterlogged, swollen. You couldn't even see my ankles, and it was painful, super painful. I contacted my coach, and my coach was like, none of my clients have ever experienced that before. You know, I was extremely upset as for paying for a coach to be like, you know, look at what's going on right now. Like, you put me through this whole thing and then you don't even know how to get me out of it or what's going on. So I ended up going to see a doctor, and then I started doing my own research because I'm like, I'm gonna find out what's going on with my body and why. So it comes to find out, yes, it was the edema. So, and with that, you have to let your body naturally flush your body out, and you have to just let it go on away on its own. So not exercising is good, like light exercise. So I had to put on a bunch of clothes and sweat it out, but I couldn't do too much intense exercises because it hurt. I'd end up cramping so bad I would be on the floor in tears. Within the next 6 months, I put on a lot of weight, a lot of fat in my body because it was so lean for so long and deprived that it was like anything I was eating, storing fat. And it was just nothing I could do because that's how messed up my metabolism was. Your metabolism is your body's system for converting calories to energy, also known as blood sugar. So the glucose that come from carbs, sugars, various things like that, which is energy source for your body. My body did not know how to process it. So it just got stored as fat. I went from 118 pounds, that was my stage weight, to 140 pounds within like a couple months. But it wasn't like muscle gain, it was all fat. So I did go through that period. I struggled with my self-image. I looked at myself and thought I was disgusting. I thought I was fat, thought nobody would ever accept me again. I mean, I did. I struggled for quite a while. But at that point, you know, I sat there and asked myself, I'm like, you know what? I could just sit here and sulk and beat myself up and just stay like this, or I could figure out how to get over it and do it the healthy way. That actually compelled me to become a nutritionist and become a personal trainer, because I didn't ever want to go through that again myself, and I didn't want anybody else to ever go through that or experience that again. It took me almost a year to rehab my metabolism and get it back balanced out again. My point is, going into the whole cardio thing, for a lot of you guys, it doesn't even necessarily mean you have to be competing, but you guys are kind of on like that competition, that fad diet that was going on at the time. Most of you are restricting yourselves from all the foods that you need, and a lot of you are doing too much cardio and probably not enough resistance training, or a good portion of you are doing a lot of resistance training, weight training, and cardio with a restrictive diet to achieve what we all want to achieve: weight loss, fat loss, lean bodies, curvy, muscly, lean, defined, toned, whatever you want to call it. So going back to the question I asked you in the very beginning, what is your goal with cardio? I personally, over the years, from all the studying and the research, the experimenting with my own self and with different clients, unless you're trying to improve and increase your endurance, cardio is not necessary. And it's not necessary for fat loss. Now, I have changed the way I do things, especially for my cardio, a lot over the years. But I've done it personally for me and what I'm doing. A lot of times I've increased my intensity in my cardio because of what I was training for. Martial arts, I needed the conditioning, I needed the endurance. And that's what I was using it for. I wasn't using it just for fat loss. There was a purpose for the cardio and the high intensity that I was doing. So unless you are a marathon runner, or you are training in martial arts, or doing something competition wise that specifically needs cardio for endurance and for conditioning, you don't need to do all this crazy amount of cardio to lose weight, guys. Unless you are somebody who just loves cardio and loves the high, and that's all you're doing, and you're just going for runs all the time, all the power to you. Whatever you're doing, diet, training, and cardio, whatever you start off with and whatever you increase to, whatever you did to achieve your results, you're gonna have to continue that pretty much for the rest of your life to maintain the progress that you achieved. This last 10 pounds, 17 pounds, 5 pounds, this little bit of pudge here that I want to lose. Should I increase my cardio? Should I cut my calories? Don't do that. You plateau for a reason. A lot of times you plateau because your body is like, it's going to protect itself. So especially if you're eating too little and you're trying to train too hard. If you are doing X amount of cardio, X amount of weight training, and eating X amount of calories, which is a small amount, and your body's plateaued because it can't keep making results when it has nothing to go off of. It's like trying to drive a car without gas or oil. So if you try to add more cardio in to your regimen thinking, oh, just that little extra bit of cardio is gonna make me lose weight. One, it might not. A lot of you might just still stay the same and stressing yourself out and being like, I'm doing all this and nothing's working. Two, you're probably sabotaging your metabolism. Three, you might end up starting to gain more weight. If you stop without deconditioning that cardio, without reverse dieting, slowly bringing your calories back up while decreasing intensity in cardio, if you don't do it correctly, you're gonna gain all that weight back and then some. And then the next time you try to lose weight, it's gonna be even more difficult. You're hurting your metabolism. You're doing unnecessary amount of cardio with a restricted diet. So everything needs to match. The amount of energy you're expending out, what you need to match it with the right calorie intake, so that's a balance. So you can keep achieving fat loss, you can maintain muscle, and you can be healthy, your metabolism can be healthy, and you can keep continuing to be successful in everything you do. especially for you women out there, I highly recommend getting in there and lifting some weights, pushing yourself past your max. That's right there is intensity in your training. You're gonna burn fat, you're gonna define and build those curves on your body. It's physically impossible for a woman to be lifting weight and then over time look like a man. And the only way that's gonna happen is if you are intaking some illegal drugs. And that's the other misconstrued idea we got. There's a lot of bodybuilders out there that are using steroids, and you know, they don't talk about it because it's not legal, but then they're posting these videos and you see these women that are just stacked. I mean, they look very manly. We get that misconstrued idea, oh, if we lift weights like this person, we're gonna look like that. But it's physically impossible. We do not have the amount of testosterone and the hormones of men to be able to grow and look like a man. In a natural way, it's physically impossible. Just train hard, kick your intensity up, always be pushing your max, always be pushing your limit with the weight training, and then eating the right amount to that, and you're gonna start seeing the results that you want, and the areas decreasing, getting smaller, and areas getting more curves where you want them to be. And especially if you're only going to be focusing on specific areas that you don't want to maybe grow or to be more curvy, don't train them. Train areas that you want to build, you want to grow. If you just want to be very lean, very slender, very petite, you don't want the curves, you don't want the muscle, don't lift weights. It's a balance, you guys. It's a balance between everything. So if you guys have followed my journey for a long time, I've gone through periods where I've done absolutely no cardio, and then I've done a lot of cardio. And there's times where I was doing so much cardio with my weight training and I did not nearly look as good as when I was doing no cardio and only weight training. Again, not following just bits and pieces that you see online. Social media can be a beautiful and wonderful thing to share our stories, to share our successes, to share everything that we're doing, but it's also only bits and pieces. And so a lot of you guys can't just look at something and be like, oh, they're doing this, and then try to piece it together. You see something, research it. As soon as I became certified as a nutritionist and as a personal trainer, my training, what I did not stop there. I've continued to progress and grow and learn and educate myself. I'm still learning things today, even though it's been 6 years I've been a coach. Your learning never stops, and you're being totally naive if you say, I know everything right now, because there's still things I'm learning about myself, things I'm correcting about myself. You know, I'll be going to train and be like, oh, my form has been all off. For how long? Oh my gosh, I gotta fix that, I gotta correct it. I've gotta fix my own imbalances. I've gotta fix my own failures and mistakes. Coach or not coach, you know, we are always learning, and we should always be learning and always educating ourselves. When it starts with your weight loss journey, you don't need to be throwing in an hour of cardio 6 days a week. Really focus on your weight training and really push yourself and make yourself sweat. Make yourself breathing hard. Make yourself breathe hard. You know, push your limits when you do the resistance training. You're gonna see such better results that way than just doing cardio. If anything, I would recommend maybe doing 2 days a week, and you're picking maybe 10-15 minutes max if you want to start out, but try to keep variety in it. Try to mix it up, try to change it up, and really focus more on your resistance training. A lot of you who are beginners, just by you starting out, by just like lifting some weights and doing some stuff in the weight room, you're gonna get results. You're gonna lose weight, you're gonna lose fat, but then you're gonna also be building the curves in all the areas that you want. I've said that so many times. So many people have had such negative experiences with cardio, and you know, a lot of people who went into it with a lack of knowledge and didn't gain any knowledge, didn't learn from it, and all they do is cardio is bad, but they didn't learn from their experiences that they are like, oh, that's why. So cardio is not a bad thing, and it does get a bad rap because it was abused. It gets abused. If you are not an athlete training for something specific to improve your endurance, you know, for conditioning, or you're an athlete, you know, training for a marathon or something specific, you do not need to be doing a whole lot of cardio. A lot of you probably are stuck right now because you might have been doing this yo-yo dieting and going back and forth with your cardio. So a lot of you might have hurt metabolisms right now. Your body's probably freaking out, not knowing what to do. And so you're going to fluctuate a lot, and that's okay. Don't freak out. It's natural. Your body's just trying to figure out what you're doing, and it's trying to protect itself. So the best advice I could give you guys is whatever routine you were doing before, you kind of have to go back to that and kind of reevaluate and be like, okay, well, I was only eating this much during this time and I was doing this amount of cardio. You kind of have to start over. You kind of have to go back to that and then slowly increase your calories over time and start changing your routine. So whatever amount of cardio you were doing, try to compensate with that intensity in your weight training, and do this over a period of time. Your body's probably going to fluctuate a lot. Those are going to happen. I went through that. I had to go through all of that in order to get where I'm at now. You have to go through the process. And I know it's hard, and we get impatient, and we constantly are comparing ourselves to all the people showing you the best angles because they're pulling their pants way up and twisting certain ways, and they're only showing you the best angles, and that's all you see, because nobody's going to post a bad angle. If you go through that process, you're going to get where you want to be, and then you're going to be like, boom, baby, look at me, I made it. I've tried all the different things. I've been through so many different things, and I purposely have done stuff to myself, experimented with things so I could relate with people and be like, you know what? I'm actually talking from experience. I'm not just, talking out my butt. Hopefully this shed a little light on the whole cardio thing, and you guys are able to take some new information from this. A lot of this I have talked about before, and a lot of you guys have followed me a long time. You know what I'm talking about. But thank you guys for tuning in. As always, thank you guys so much for all your support all these years. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. But I will see you guys on the next video. Mwah.